someone told 13-year-old me who's drawing Pokemon or Sonic fan art for dollars and weird trinkets at school that she could do that for a living and make like $1 million movie about that. I think she'd be like amazed. Okay, so I grew up in the 90s, and I had a Super Nintendo, and I played a ton of Mario, but I think I became really obsessed with video games, with Pokemon Red on Game Boy Color. I had the lime green Game Boy Color, and I just played that like endlessly. And I was just obsessed with Pokemon. I drew Pokemon fan art. That was kind of like my way into like a lot of my friendships. A lot of like boys would come up to me and be like, "Can you draw my favorite Pokemon?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure." Like I became the girl who would draw Pokemon for you. And in exchange, they'd give me like stuff like back in the day, there were things like Pogs and like Crazy Bones and like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and yo-yos and stuff. Like I would like barter and trade my Pokemon fan art for all of these different things from dudes and girls too. And yeah, I think that's kind of what got me into drawing fan art. I think it was through Pokemon and the TV show too. And then I stopped playing it for a while because, you know, my parents were like, "You gotta focus on studying." And what was the last? Oh yeah, and then I picked it up again with Pokemon Diamond and Pearl in high school.
Wow.
And yeah, and then I had the Nintendo DS Lite, and I just played that and like every single game I could find like for it. I played a lot of like rhythm games, like what was it? Like what was that game called? It was like they were like cheerleaders for different scenarios. I don't know. But yeah, like different like tapping like video games, more Pokemon, Zelda for sure. Yeah, I think I mostly stuck to handheld because that was the only way that I could hide how much I played games from my parents.
Mhm.
And I could just like do it secretly in my room and then like hide it under my pillow if my mom was like checking in on me. And then and then like during turning red, I was like, F it, I'm just gonna wait, no, when was it? I bought a Switch,
Mhm.
and then that was kind of like the first console game, or like it was the first console that I bought since the Super Nintendo. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I got so sucked into Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey and yeah. And and then I bought a PS4 Pro when I was doing Turning Red because I was just like, I just need to see like what's going on right now in like the current like video game scene. I was kind of afraid at that point because I was not really like that much of a hardcore gamer, and then I got really sucked into Red Dead Redemption 2, and I was playing that, and then through production, and then Ghost of Tsushima, and then The Witcher 3, and then Death Stranding, and and then of course like Spider-Man. Like I think the pandemic just like kind of like sped up just my interest and like into video games. And now yeah, I want to play Elden Ring, but I don't have a PS5 and my PS4 is currently broken. So I have to figure out something out right now.
Oh.
But yeah. Does that answer your question? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm kind of on and off playing it. Like playing games casually for fun.
That was a great answer. I feel like you are a serious gamer and you don't have to like worry. Like that's actually a lot of video games. I mean, I think people who just play like one game, they could be a gamer. So you like played a whole wide spectrum. That's really cool. That's great to talk to you. And I'm kind of curious, why is your PS4 Pro broken?
I don't know. Oh, I think I managed to figure out what it was. I had the wrong power cord. So I recently moved and I realized that the power cord I was using it's a different power cord. It was a power cord from my Apple TV, which I don't think is powerful enough to power PS4. So I just recently ordered a new one. So hopefully it'll fix everything.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, I mean, we do gameplay live streams on every Friday.
Oh, cool.
Like when we get a nice guest, and so like if you ever want to play Elden Ring or another game, you can come on our live stream.
Ooh, are you allowed to swear? Because I swear a lot.
We are not allowed to swear, but people have accidentally sweared, and then our managing editor is like calling in and saying, "Hey, I heard you. Like you have to stop." So maybe not. But yeah, we can work on that. I've accidentally swore, but I try not to. But yeah. Okay, and then like, going back to like your childhood, like so I when I was watching that movie over and over, I was like, oh, it's the idea of like having to hide from your parents. Like what kind of like attitudes did your parents have towards you playing video games? Like were they supportive of that?
I mean, I think they had pretty much the same attitude as a lot of parents did at the time, and even now, which is like, this is a waste of time. Why are you so obsessed with this? Go outside and get fresh air and exercise. But yeah, I guess I just didn't understand that it was just like you being sucked into this world and you're kind of, you're the master of these cute little animals that you're forcing to fight each other. And it's just, they didn't really understand it. Hence why I mostly stuck with handheld games for a long time until college, I think. Oh, right. And I totally forgot. I owned a Wii for a long period of time too. So yeah. Yeah.
It's really cool. They're bringing back Wii Sports to the Switch now. They're gonna have Switch Sports later.
Oh, I heard. That's fun. I even got the Wii balance board back in the day because I was like on that whole. I was part of that whole frenzy of like, ooh, maybe this will get me to exercise. And then you like bought it and you're like, oh, this is fine.
Yeah, that's really cool. And also they've like remade a lot of those Pokemon games that you played growing up. Did you have any interest in going to try those out?
Oh yeah. I mean, I really wanted to check out Brilliant Diamond and Pearl. Was it Brilliant Diamond and
Shining Pearl?
Shining Pearl. Yeah, I really want to check that out. I haven't had the chance to. But maybe I'll buy it. Yeah, I really loved that. I feel like that was like one of my favorite Pokemon games. Not really into the newest one, maybe because I'm just a purist and I miss that like top down like world kind of format, and just like the new games feel too like linear and it's not, I don't know, it's just not as cute.
Yeah, I mean, there is like a new game called like RCS, which is like open world. I don't know if you have like an interest in that, because people were excited for being able to explore the world of Pokemon. More
RCS?
It's called RCS.
RCS. Oh, Pokemon RCS. Yeah. I heard of that. Is it good? I really want to check it out.
Yeah, people compared it to like Breath of the Wild, like just like you can go into an open world and then run around catching Pokemon instead of just being stuck in the same place.
I gotta check that out. There's so many games I need to play, but I've just been putting everything aside to finish this movie. But now I have the time.
Okay, this is great. Actually, I want to talk to you more about the movie too. So do you think there's like any influence from your like childhood gaming that you can kind of see within like Turning Red?
Yeah, I mean, definitely in my love of Nintendo, I think you can see like Rona Liu, the production designer of the movie, also loves Nintendo as well. Like she's a huge Splatoon 2 player. Like she is very hardcore about that game. But both of us just love that chunky, cute aesthetic. And I think that was definitely fostered by like playing Nintendo games, like Pokemon, like Earthbound there's just something so appealing about how they are able to kind of stylize their worlds in such an appealing, chunky, cute kind of way. I remember when we were kind of looking at like looks development for our movie, we like looked at Breath of the Wild and we were like, wow, like how are they able to kind of like make the world feel so like beautiful and rich, but still able to like simplify it and stylize it in a really appealing way. Yeah, I'm always looking to video games just to like see how they're able to like play around with like 3D stylization, because I think a lot of video games like take more risks that way versus a lot like versus animated films, which I think stick to a more traditional kind of look. So it's always cool just to like see like what other games and studios are like doing, you know.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so it's like mostly like the art style was impacted by video games. Was there like anything with like I don't know, like how you imagine the character's backstory that we might not have seen? Are they any of them gamers, for instance?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I guess you could say that. You could squint and be like, oh yeah, like Panda May could be like a Pokemon. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to think a little harder on that question.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, I also have written about Tamagotchi before, and I consider that,
right.
it's not like a video game, at least like, a game that people have played a lot and is part of the same like nerd culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was kind of curious, like what inspired that Tamagotchi to be, first May's Tamagotchi, and then it became like at the end, a spoiler, the mom's Tamagotchi.
Yeah. I mean, I think like a lot of kids and like growing up in the late 90s and early 2000s, I had a Tamagotchi. And this movie takes place in that time, and it just felt like a really fun kind of nostalgic like point of reference and the little Easter egg for people that grew up in that era. And also we kind of just use it as this like device, this like symbol of like of May of like May's relationship. So like it kind of is the thing that kind of holds together her relationship with her friends, because you see Miriam kind of taking care of it and giving it back to her at the concert. But also it's also just it's something that you see on her that she finds really, really important. But then at the very end, you see that her mom's kind of adopted it, and it was just a really fun visual way to show how the mom kind of has opened her mind up a bit to May's interests and what May likes. Yeah, and I think that was, I think that virtual pet, that Tamagotchi, was like a lot of our first exposure to, like to virtual pets, to taking care of something that is not technically alive. Yeah, I just remember killing my Tamagotchi like accidentally, like all the time, and or like just being really annoyed with it because it just kept beeping every 10 minutes or something. And I remember before I got my real Tamagotchi, I got like a bootleg Tamagotchi because there were so many of them just in random stores that you just find, and I just got one, and I thought, like, oh yeah, I got a Tamagotchi, and then I went up to my friends, and then I think back then you could do the thing where like if you like touch the two Tamagotchis together, they can communicate. But then I tried, but mine was a bootleg Tamagotchi and it didn't work. And they're like, you didn't get a real one. You're like, yours is fake. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
That reminds me of when I had a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I had like the Dark Magician Girl, and then somebody else traded me her Dark Magician Girl, and I realized that it was a knockoff. And then so I then I gave her the real one, and yeah, it was.
Oh no, that's the worst.
Yeah. Oh, no, this is really interesting because like all of this is like part of like nerd culture that like maybe like a couple decades ago people were bullying others over, and then I think is there like a celebration of all of this stuff now, like being geeks, and what do you kind of make of like I like even now like Tamagotchi has like relaunched its product, like it's coming back just like Pokemon is coming back. Yeah, like what do you think about like all of this culture coming back up and everyone's doing it now?
Yeah, I think nerd and geek culture from the 90s and 2000s has now become kind of mainstream and cool now, right? That's cool. Because it totally wasn't the case when we were growing up. Even like anime, I feel like back then I was vice president of the anime club, and it was me and my best friend. She was a president. It was like just the two of us, plus maybe like a handful of other friends that we could convince to come to our like club sessions after school. But we were so nerdy, and we couldn't find anime anywhere except like it would take forever to torrent an episode that was like badly fan subbed, or we would go on a trip to like the local Asian mall and like dig through the bootleg DVDs for like like the latest episodes, but like are terribly subbed. Like they're like translated subtitles from the Chinese version, which was like translated from the Japanese version. So it's like double translated and you can barely understand it. But like now it's so accessible, and it's kind of amazing just to see how how geek and nerd culture have become so mainstream. It's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what were you in middle school or high school when you had the anime club?
That was high school.
High school. Okay.
Yeah.
So what would like a high school version of you like think about all this culture coming up now?
Oh, I'd be so excited, I think, because I was I was looked at as such a weirdo and a freak. I remember one year I was going straight from school from like high school to an anime convention, and I just thought like, oh, I don't have time to change, I'll just change into my cosplay outfit at school. So I changed, and then I like walked out, and then people looked at me so weird, and I like got in my mom's car, and then she like drove me there immediately. But yeah, well, I feel like now it's just like seeing like Doja Cat or Billie Eilish with like anime like Evangelion like on her sweater and stuff. I'm like, oh my god, that's crazy, that's amazing. See, I'm not weird.
That's really cool. Yeah, I've seen on Twitter people were posting this like 2002 like how to draw manga like book of like, and I don't know if you like remember this or like if this is like at all referenced in the movie.
Was it like Christopher Hart or something? Was that his name?
I actually purchased this book, so let me just pull up a photo of it. Okay, it's this book.
Oh yeah.
You recognize this? Is this like
I do recognize. There were so many books like that where it's like how to draw Japanese like anime or manga, and it was so funny because a lot of it was just like, I mean, it was like white dudes kind of like doing these like how-to books, and they would look kind of janky. I totally remember that. It was so funny.
Yeah, people were joking on, oh sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I just think it's so funny.
Yeah, no, people were joking on Twitter that May must have like had one of these books, and that's how she started drawing like, I don't know, it was like almost like when she draws Devin from the store, it looks like Luffy from One Piece. And,
oh like, yeah.
Cool. And then I wondered if like that is like you mentioned that you drew fan art of Pokemon for your classmates. Like, did that at all influence like May's background drawing stuff under her bed?
Oh yeah, of course. I think like May, like that whole scene under her bed and just her like doodling in the margins and stuff was like very much inspired by my own life and my own experience, like being that girl, like with her secret sketchbook. I actually did have one under my bed that my parents to this day have never found. But yeah, like I think for a lot of girls, like not a lot of nerdy girls, and boys too, like drawing is kind of their like gateway into like exploring like, you know, their sexuality, and into like like their feelings and emotions. I think like a lot of that is discovered through drawing a lot of these like fictional and like non-fictional characters. So yeah, it was really fun and cringy and embarrassing just to put that in the movie, but it felt right, you know.
Mhm. That's awesome. And I like going back to like present day when you're playing all these games. Have you like discovered like what kind of gamer you are, like what kind of games you gravitate towards and what you prefer to play?
Oh yeah. Yes. I like oh man, I feel like I love all Nintendo games for sure. Like Super Mario Odyssey and then Breath of the Wild. It's just amazing. I don't like it when games look too complicated and there's like too much stuff happening on screen, and the screen just gets too busy and crazy. I think I prefer games that have more like simplicity and like focus more on like simple but like challenging gameplay, versus I don't know, there's like some, like I'll like watch a let's play of like a recent game, and I'll just be like, I can't even follow what's going on. Maybe I'm just old, I don't know. I'm just like, oh, there's stuff happening and like text popping up, and I can't really follow that, but I feel like there's a cleanliness and an elegance and a simplicity to like to a Breath of the Wild, to a Mario Odyssey, or like even like a Metroidvania game. Like I really love Hollow Knight, Metroid Dread.
Mhm.
Yeah, anything that's just kind of I don't know how to describe it. Like simple, like simple, but also like requires practice in order to get good at it. And then graphics that are just appealing and not super busy. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's great. And then do you think you'll have more time to game now that the movie has launched and you're almost done with promoting?
Oh yeah, I'm really excited to go back into video games. I have like a list of things I want to try. I want to try Elden Ring. I want to try the new Pokemon game. I want to replay, you know, Diamond and Pearl, but like the new version.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and then I've been talking to a lot of my friends. They've all like watched this movie, and then some people didn't like pay attention to the news, and then some of them like thought there's like some kind of controversy, which I followed like from the beginning. Like when this one reviewer said, "Oh, this movie is not for me, and it's for a very small group of people." I don't know if you have an official statement to react to like him and his review getting taken down, everyone like coming after him because he was so wrong.
Yeah, I think I remember him like, didn't he say something? I didn't read the full article, but I think people were quoting him as saying like it was exhausting and he couldn't relate. And then I don't know. I mean, I think I said something somewhere where I'm like, well, you know, puberty and growing up is exhausting, and you know, good for you for not having an exhausting adolescence. That seems very ideal, and yeah. Yeah, I mean, movies don't have to be for everybody. Yeah, but if the only reason why you don't want to watch this movie is because it stars a character who doesn't look like you, then I think you're going to miss out on a lot of really cool and interesting like movies and stories and video games just in your life in general. Yeah, they don't have to look like you for you to relate to them, so you can give it a chance and then you can bash it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's well said. Yeah, that's great. I mean, overall, like, you know, I think it's like you've made history by launching this, like by producing this film and like directing this film, and like having it be so culturally specific. So do you have any like final thoughts about like, you know, where you are now and how you've like come, how far you've come?
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah, if someone told 13-year-old me who's drawing like Pokemon or Sonic fan art for dollars and weird trinkets at school that she could do that for a living and make like $1 million movie about that. I think she'd be like amazed. Yeah, I'm just so grateful for this experience. I'm so grateful that the world has received this movie so well, and that that so many people are able to connect with May and her struggle with growing up, and I feel proud that I was able to kind of put my culture, my experience up there for the world to kind of see, and to hopefully promote more stories, like more from different cultures, different storytellers.
I'm also like, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but like somebody had said like, oh, I think Pixar is putting out movies that really help people work through like their emotions, because they realize nobody is going to therapy, so they have to have some like like put the deep topics into the movie so that they can work through their issues. I don't know if like you saw that, or just like people on the internet talking about how a real life Asian mom would she apologize like that, and they're not sure if it would be that simple, but they hope it could be.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the awesome things about media, like movies and even video games. Like they can kind of make you think and reflect on your own experiences and your own relationships, and kind of see them in a new way. I think that's amazing. Like that is the goal of art, I think, is to have people feel that and experience that. So that's awesome.
Oh, that's great. And then I know you probably can't say anything about like future projects, but like now that you've told like a story that's like kind of inspired by your own background, do you think like you would continue to like mine your own experiences, or like go elsewhere, like go to fantasy worlds, or
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like whatever I do will probably in some way even have like a small nugget of a personal experience. I think that's just the case for, I think, a lot of artists and people who tell stories. They just can't help it. It's like, even if I used to try to actively avoid it, I can't help but like put a little bit of myself in there. So I'm not 100% sure what my next project's going to be, but it's going to be very me, whatever that means.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I'm going to sign off for the video, but also like now that we're not recording, I'm just going to tell you that I am actually friends with Andrea Go, and I know she was on the Cultural Trust for.
Oh yeah, Andrea! I love Andrea. Yeah, she helped make these super cool Turning Red.
Yeah, she did.
You see these? Yeah, they're
oh, that's
so
right.
awesome.
Okay, we should still record this for. That's awesome.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
That's great.
And I drew Four Town.
Oh,
I volunteered. I was like, let me draw Four Town.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, she does this every year. Last year she did Cars. And then she mailed it to me, and I was like, this is like incredible. Now it's like more significant because I've seen the film. So it's awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for your time. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. Take care.
Yeah, thanks, Shannon. Have a good one.